Welcome back to Cal Parker Probes Podcast. Jason and I are fresh off segment one, discussing a rather heated segment about the instruments of buy now, pay later.
That was not heated, by the way.
You ever get the feeling that you just reflexively want to say the opposite of what I want to say?
Listen, understating the facts here. Compared to one certain other segment, the one we just had just now was not heated.
It's like saying, well, compared to this other war, this war wasn't nearly as deadly, but it was still a war.
Well, I know you. I know you don't want to play the Heat Olympics when it comes to which segment was hotter. But I'm just saying that one wasn't that bad.
I'm trying to save you from yourself. I think you're reflectively a Grinch.
I ain't trying to see. There you go, telling lies about me again. Don't be spreading that. Listen, I'm trying to with the whole metaverse out there. I'm trying to get a clean start here. Don't be spreading lies to get me started on get me going on a bad start here. Okay, so
Are you going to spread cheer in the metaverse?
listen. Just only paint me as a Grinch because I didn't say anything about not liking Christmas. Okay? That's not what I said. So don't be spreading lies, okay? Move on.
In the second segment, we're going to be talking about shock fan misconduct. And this is an issue that went down in this was in Indy, right? Or was it in LA?
Nope, it was in Indy, unfortunately. Indiana here.
Got it. All right. So I'm referencing an article from LakersDaily.com. During the Los Angeles Lakers Wednesday win over the Indiana Pacers, LeBron James asked to have two fans sitting courtside at Gainbridge Fieldhouse escorted out. Turns out the fans were taunting James in a malevolent way. I remember when this broke. I remember LeBron basically getting the referee's attention. And then I remember them people getting walked out. And then it comes to light that basically the woman that was escorted out, the one that's basically trying to give the weepy face, it says, I hope that LeBron's kid dies in a car wreck. Which is pretty fucked up. Can we just admit that? Can we agree to that?
If that was actually said correct, I would agree.
Jason, the thing for me is LeBron ended up getting a lot of heat because people were trying to say that, oh, look at LeBron complaining again. LeBron's got too much power in the league. I'm like, Tom Brady does this shit every Sunday for flags. He is lobbying all the time saying, hey, I need it this way.
Well, let's not put that just on Tom
confident.
Brady. Let's not put that just on Tom Brady, though. That's every NFL player does that.
What I'm saying, though, is there's a few players in each major sport that can command that audience. And what I'm saying is people were looking at LeBron as if he's a crybaby, which is kind of problematic if that was actually said by a fan courtside. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying a lot of the focus has been on LeBron is basically he's not mentally tough enough. And to me, that's weird anyway. I have a weird I have a concern that we have assigned just because someone doesn't have the ability to effectively respond and retaliate to either verbal abuse or taunts, racist taunts and shit like that, that somehow they're not mentally tough enough. So I kind of reject that notion to begin with. And we already have an issue with fan conduct in general at sporting events. We actually covered it on a previous episode. And so yeah, I the the fan experience in general needs a lot of work.
Yeah. So yesterday we talked about that we did in a previous episode talk about the fan conduct and whatnot, and actually that was actually way back in episode 7. So it was our first episode in the month of June, almost 6 months ago. So yeah, obviously it was a thing then. Back then, that was back when some fans are getting allowed back in the stadiums, and we called it ratchet reopening. Um, yeah, that was that episode. Um, so like you said, definitely fan conduct, and not even just fans towards players. The fan conduct in general has been kind of off the chain recently, as I'm sure you and the people that have been listening have been seeing a lot of videos of like fans fighting in the stands. Whatever. Now, I will say that's primarily been in like NFL games and MLB games. I don't think I've ever seen that in an NBA game so much. Like we've all seen the videos of fans fighting each other, so even that goes into fan conduct as well. Um, but yes, when it comes to this LeBron situation, when him getting the two fans kicked out, yeah, he got the title LeSnitch, as people wanted to call him, um, which I understand the ease people have when it comes to jumping on LeBron for that because of all the crybaby stuff he's done before when it comes to the flopping and complaining on every call. So I get it. But what I will say is, from what I've seen on social media, and I've been looking into this a lot, people seem to have that reaction with a caveat, or they made that statement or opinion before they knew what was said by the fans, or they said that with a caveat if that's what the fan actually said. And I jumped in there earlier saying that's if it was said, because LeBron nor the fans have actually come forward obviously and said themselves that that's what they actually said. That's only come out because supposedly the people sitting around them heard them say it. Now, I do agree with you that we can probably have good faith that the witnesses probably aren't lying. So I agree with you based off of that. If that's what was actually said, then I agree. Definitely crossing the line there. It's one thing for fans to heckle the players when it comes to just saying your game is trash, whatnot. You're going to lose this game. You're going to miss this shot, whatever. That stuff's one thing, and I almost expect that from fans at the arena. If you're sitting courtside, yes, give it to the opposing players. Yes, for sure. But when your comments cross the line when it comes to not talking about them or any of the players or the coaches, going into their families, talking about LeBron's son, that's where the line gets crossed. Keep your heckling and your comments about the player himself, his game, or his teammates, coaches, whatever. People actually involved with the team, the game, and the organization. Bronny James, even though he's getting notoriety as a basketball player on his own, he's not in the NBA. He's not a Laker. That's it. And then go and then even going forward saying you wish he hope he dies in a car crash.
Yeah.
If they actually said that, then you are a complete piece of you know what. And quite frankly, you deserve to get banned from every single arena everywhere in the entire NBA. I was a little disappointed to find out that neither the NBA nor the Pacers were going to give any kind of further punishment to those two fans. Now, again, that's based off what I read so far. Of course, things could change, but when the NBA says it, short of mitigating things changing and them getting more information, I'm sure they're not, and that's unfortunate. Uh, the NBA did come out and say that the fans were in violation of the league's official code of conduct, fan code of conduct, which I'm sure most of us don't really know what that actually entails, but essentially, um, yeah, it's basically certain rules and guidelines fans have to follow when they go to any NBA arena. And I have to say, when I read this list, as I'm trying to get it pulled back up now again, I have to say, every time I've been to a game, I've seen fans pretty much break every single code there is when it comes to this. So, so that's also why I've kind of find it very surprising that the NBA Pacers didn't do anything, because not only did they break it, they kind of went way over the line when it comes to the specific comment they made. So, um, but yeah, when I first saw the video, I saw the video of LeBron kind of pulling the referee over, pointing at the fans, using a few four-letter words, which I understand that, saying, "Well, what is going on?" So I never really seen LeBron get mad. Really, it's as I'm sure you agree. I've never seen him really get mad. Only time I've ever seen him really get mad is when it was John with Enos Cantor, and then this. Now obviously he gets hyped up when the game when he, but I never really seen him mad. So I was kind of surprised at this a little bit. So, but yeah, if you're a fan, whether you're courtside or not, saying stuff like that, just stay home. Just don't come to the game. Nobody wants to hear that.
Yeah, what I'm going to do right now, I'm actually going to read off the fan code of conduct.
Yes, please do.
The National Basketball Association seeks to foster a safe, comfortable, and enjoyable sports and entertainment experience in which players and fans respect and appreciate each other. Guests will be treated in a professional and courteous manner by all arena and team personnel. Guests will enjoy the basketball experience free from disruptive behavior, including foul or abusive language and obscene gestures. Guests will consume alcoholic beverages in a responsible manner. Intervention with an impaired, intoxicated, or underage guest will be handled in a prompt and safe manner. Guests will sit only in their ticketed seats and show their tickets when requested. Guests who engage in fighting, throwing objects, or attempting to enter the court will be immediately ejected from the arena. Guests will smoke in designated smoking areas only. Obscene or indecent messages on signs or clothing will not be permitted. Guests will comply with requests from arena staff regarding arena operations and emergency response procedures. Guests will comply with all COVID-19 health and safety protocols. Uh, yeah, I mean,
I've been to games where I've seen all 10 of those broken in one night right in front of me. All 10 of them. Now, obviously, staff can only see so much and do so much, but fans break this stuff all the time, every game. So,
it's kind of like it's kind of like holding in the NFL. It's like, listen, you could call holding on literally every play.
right,
If you really wanted to, you could do it.
exactly. But I guess it's all about it's subjective in a way, but it's also about how egregious you are with any one of those 10. You know, and what's one? As I'm scrolling through this, the third one. I guess those fans definitely broke the third one. Guests will enjoy the basketball experience free from disruptive behavior, including foul or abusive language and obscene gestures. They definitely broke that one. Probably because they also broke a little bit of number 4, drinking too much. So,
I
but
mean, the inference is that they were drinking, and
I'm
ultimately,
kidding, folks. I'm kidding. I don't know if that's the
and
case. It doesn't really matter if it was or wasn't. So,
yeah, I am not on team. Hey, I was intoxicated, and somehow that gives him a pass. And what I really suspect, Jason, is that much like, um, much like, you know, you could probably write up 1 million people speeding every day because everybody drives 5 over, right? But I feel like they tried to give them an out, and they ain't take it
how so?
because they probably tried to talk to them and say, "Hey, man, y'all gotta chill." Because the NBA is really not interested in dealing with fans who pay that much fucking money for courtside seats. You realize how over the top it had to be for them to finally say, "Okay, y'all gotta go."
Well, I'll I'll agree with you on one point. That yeah, that's probably not the first thing that they said to LeBron. I'm sure it was an escalation.
Yeah,
I would hope they didn't open with that. I wish they didn't say it at all. But yeah, I kind of doubt they didn't open with that. Hey, hope you're, yeah, I agree with you on that. They probably didn't open with that. Now, I can't say whether or not anybody was warned. I'm not going to go that far. They might not have. Because again, we don't know what they said before because it might have been within the guideline, not guidelines, but might have been within like, okay, it's okay for you to say this because that makes sense. It's normal. The stuff I was mentioning earlier. But now you cross the line, and that's when LeBron had to, give attention to the referee, who then got the security, whatever, blah blah blah. And that's how they got the boot. So I don't know, but I agree with you. The first thing they said probably wasn't that or anything close to it. So I do want to point something else out. Um, Tristan Thompson. I don't know if you saw this, but an article from a little bit ago. He plays for the Kings now. Apparently, he also had fans ejected at one of his game. A fan ejected from his game because a fan apparently made some type of comment. And I don't know what it was. Maybe it probably doesn't matter. The fan made a comment about the Kardashian or the Kardashian family. And for those who don't know, Tristan actually has a child with, I believe, Khloe Kardashian. Um, and that's why the fan, so there's that connection there. So, again, another example of fans making their heckles or comments too personal when it comes to making their comments about people that have nothing to do with the Kings, nothing to do with the NBA or the game or nothing like that. So, and even Kings coach Alvin Gentry had to say that after the game, the fans have a right to boo, but not to be inappropriate. And that's there you go. There you can boo, say stuff that's in kin with booing, but once you get inappropriate, which may or may not be subjective, but still, I think we all know any fan that goes to the arena knows, hey, I'm going to say this, and I know it's going to be too far, but I'm going to say it anyway. I told you this yesterday that those two fans are lucky that they didn't catch the wrong one. Because LeBron's smart enough to know that he can't be the one, probably specifically because he's LeBron James, knows that he can't be the one to go swinging at people anytime they say something like that or say something to it back at all. However, bench player number 14 may not care as much as LeBron because he has a little less to lose. He might go off and swing on you.
I would argue bench player 14 has way more to lose because bench player 14 might be his. He might be on the 14-day contract.
But exactly my point. Exactly my point. He might have less to care about, but LeBron knows that. Hey, I'm LeBron James. There's going to be a huge story of me punching a fan in the stands, regardless of what the fan said. Even though the fans might have understood it, even though parents might have understood it, it's not going to matter. All it's going to be is LeBron James hit me in the face because I said some nasty words to him. That's it. So LeBron's smart to know he can't do that. But my point is, those fans are lucky that no matter what the player is, that they didn't get a two piece of the face. Not the woman, but the guy. Okay, so I'd say in that way, regard the fans are very lucky because obviously we've seen incidents where fans go a little overboard and they have a little brouhaha with the fans or with the players rather. And as a Pacer fan, I know that specifically that can happen. So I think we all know what we're talking about there, so no need to go into that. But
I feel like we should go into that.
well,
I
I'm
mean,
referring to
you, you
I'm referring to the malice at the palace that happened, over 15 years ago, to where a fan threw a cup of beer onto the court area and hit one of the players in the chest. At the time, Ron Artest, and obviously Ron Artest didn't take it very well, so he went into the stands after the fan. Another player followed him into the stands as well, and obviously we've seen videos of fans getting punched and so forth and so forth. Fans coming on the court getting punched. And basically, three players wound up getting suspended for a long, for a lot of games in that season. Ron Artest himself getting suspended for the rest of the season. Um, so yeah, so that's just what I mean when it comes to when fans start to interject themselves when it comes to interacting with fans or interacting with players and getting too inappropriate or by throwing stuff. That's the chance you take. You're gonna catch the wrong one. Now, obviously, Ron Artest is not the level of LeBron James, but he's definitely better than bench player number 14. But at that moment, he didn't really care about none of that. He just knew somebody threw a beer at him.
I also think throwing a beer on someone is it's not quite spitting on you, but it's up there.
Well, it's worse than verbal because obviously that's more of a physical act. I mean, obviously it's not the fan hitting Ron Artest, but still throwing something at you. That's more physical as opposed to me just saying something to you. It's like they say, sticks and stones can break my bones, but words can never hurt me. So that's what I mean there. You can say all the stuff you want to me. I might get mad about it, but I'm not going to come at you because that puts me at fault. However, if you start throwing stuff at me, that may be a different story. So, but still, no matter what, the fans got lucky that they didn't catch the wrong one. Because even anybody could have got mad that you're talking about my kid. Again, I'm not a parent, but I can understand that as a parent, if somebody talks about my kids like that, again, I might have to throw a couple two pieces at them. So
Yeah, you might give him the Meta World 2-piece.
give them the Chris Childs, Kobe Bryant treatment. So yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, I'm while we didn't see a lifetime ban from the stadium, maybe that's for the best because maybe those guys, maybe those two fans realize, hey, we're going to give you another chance to get this right.
I'm gonna just disagree with that because I feel like those. Obviously, I don't know those two people. All I know about them is this incident here, and with her walking off with a little weepy face, I have more the thinking of they're probably at home thinking that I essentially got away with it. They got to see basically a full game of basketball. They didn't get kicked out to the fourth quarter, I believe, if I'm correct. So they're probably at home thinking I got away with this. And now I got media attention, whether it's good or bad. I got media attention. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, that concludes our segment on the LeBron James incident courtside and more fun fan conduct. Coming up next, we're going to be talking about Soul Train at 50 on Cal Park Bros.